Come on in, come on in. This is a really important topic. I have a super special guest for us tonight. Listen, this topic is 90% retire broke, and this is about beauty professionals. Did you guys know that 90% of beauty professionals retire broke? You guys, 90%. I'm going to need you to go ahead and share this, okay? Share this with your friends, your family, your business besties. If you have, a barber, a hairstylist, if you are a barber, hairstylist, share this with anybody that you know. I'm going to be bringing up thank you so much, Clay Sculpts, for the badge. I'm going to be bringing up our special guest, okay? Listen, hey Toya. Listen, we got to talk about this, guys, okay? We have got to talk about 90% of beauty professionals retire broke. I'm going to be bringing up Mr. Steve D. Ellis, okay? And guys, before I get jumping on here, I want to introduce myself just in case we've got some people that are new to me. My name is Susan Bennett. I am the CEO of The Social Barber, and I help establish beauty professionals learn how to turn your message, your gift, right, into passive income by creating and selling digital products so you can avoid burnout behind the chair, right? If you're feeling achy, feeling tired, and you want to retire, that's why I wanted to go ahead and have my next guest on here, okay? If you're looking to retire and you're kind of like, I don't see a way out, right? There are some things that you need to set up. Of course, we can set up passive income with digital products, but in addition, you need to have a plan, okay? So I brought one of my students listen, I did not teach him about financial services. I don't know about that. He is the expert in that. And so I just helped him turn it into a course. I just helped him turn it into a digital product. I just helped him learn how to put it together online. But this is his expertise, okay? Mr. Steve Ellis, and I'm pulling him up here, guys. You guys can see I tagged his name down here. Make sure you guys are following him. You can, let me go ahead and bring him up, okay? Because I cannot say enough. Is joining. We're going to talk about now passive income is bringing the money in. He's going to show you, and he really teaches other beauty professionals what to do with the money when they earn it. There he is. There is, and I'm still talking about you, Steve. I'm still talking about you, okay? And so he's teaching you what to do with the money because a lot of times, people talk about saving it, right? Saving it, but he's teaching you how to invest responsibly so you don't have to work behind the chair. You don't need the income. All your digital products is just going to be frosting on top because you've already planned and you have planned to retire. You have planned to stop, standing behind the chair, the brush, the table, whatever it is you do. Mr. Stephen Ellis here, right? Click on this little twisty. Make sure you follow him. If you don't get anything from this live tonight, I'm gonna need you to make sure that you follow him. He is a licensed barber. He is a barber instructor, right? He's a professor at Compton Community College, and he has a background in financial advising. So the thing is that he has such a unique background when it talks to when we talk about retiring from behind the chair. Okay, I think I said enough here. And guys, please while we're talking, make sure you drop your questions in the chat, and we're gonna try to get to that. Okay, we're not gonna be on here super long, so we want to make sure whatever questions that you guys have. All right, come on in, Steve.
Hello. How you doing?
I am doing well. I hope you are.
Yep.
Now, did I miss anything?
No, you got it all covered. I think, the things that you do with barbers and Cosmos about showing them how to get from behind the chair by creating a product. To your point, yes, you want to create a product and have that create more income for you. But at the end of the day, retirement and getting from behind the chair is about saving money and understanding where and how to save that money. And that's kind of where I come in.
And we're not just, are we stuffing it under the mattress?
Yeah, no. I mean, under the mattress does not get you a return. You want your money to work as hard for you as you want, as you're working for it. So again, you talk about, okay, you're working behind the chair. You're creating a digital product. You may be, doing other things. Well, you want your money to do two or three things. You want your money to gain a rate of interest. You want your money to hopefully maybe provide for protections for you. You want your money to be growing tax-free at a maximum rate of return. So you have to understand how to make your money work as hard as you do in order to get things done.
All right. And when we talk about, you guys know I talk about passive income a lot. When I talk about passive income, I'm talking about digital products. Steve, what Steve, you guys listen, you guys, this is like crazy free game. Like this is, so many times when I hear people talking about stuff, I always think about wealth having to do, people, whether or not they have wealth or they don't, it has to do with lack of knowledge. It's not lack of money, it's lack of knowledge. Okay. Yeah. And so this is the knowledge, guys. You guys need to follow him. Guys, one of the biggest takeaways I got from Clubhouse, and I think a lot of times people say, oh, this person only has this many followers. What he's talking about here is before followers. Yeah. Okay. People have been doing this. This is the oldest form, one of the oldest forms of passive income. People have been doing this so long. Yes. They've been doing this so long. This is what you don't know, how when you keep, you hear about people being wealthy, they're rich, and you keep wondering, like, how do they have generations and generations and generations of wealth? Listen in right here, okay?
Because it's about saving money and saving money in the right places, and that money working as hard as you. It's like if you're saving money and you put your money in the right investment, that investment is paying you a rate of return. Also, that investment is growing for you at a tax-free, tax-deferred and tax-free basis, and that money is providing protection. Well, now you've got 3 lanes where that money is in. You can maybe live off of 1 or 2 of those lanes, and that money's still growing. And that's what, to your point, that's what the people who make a lot of money understand, is that it's not just saving and taking. It's saving and then using a portion of that because that money's doing other things, and you're not taking all of it, because it's not about what you make, it's about what you keep. Mm-hmm. And again, saving is different than investing, because investing, you have the possibility to lose money, whereas savings is not about losing. You may not get as great a return, but again, it's consistent and it's going to last you a longer period of time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so tell me, okay, why do 90% of beauty professionals retire broke?
Well, especially in our industry, we are not, everybody gets in so young, and it's a skill set industry, and we focus on mastering the skills that it takes to be successful in the industry. It's probably not till we're 10, 15, 20 years in the game that we start talking about really putting some money aside. As you said, I teach at community college. And I ask my students all the time, when you graduate, what are your goals? And the first goals for most of them is to spend money. Go buy me a new car, give me a new apartment, start getting me, I wanted that real Gucci purse, not that fake Gucci purse. So they doing all that kind of stuff. And nowhere in that plan was saving money. So I try to get my students to understand that saving money, especially the time value of money, the sooner you start, the more you can make. So getting them to understand that early in the game benefits them later in the game. And you so start that.
So when beauty professionals are not prepared for retirement,
right?
What does that look like?
Well, and again, the unique thing about our industry is that even if you're a beauty professional, Barber Cosmo, and you're not ready, then what do you become? You just become that old OG in the back of the shop, still working. But you can control how much money you make. You ain't like the average person who worked at the post office and was forced to retire, and now got to go work at Walmart and make $12 an hour. You can still make $50, $60, $70 an hour because you have a skill set that is in demand.
Right.
You may not do as many clients, but you can raise your prices and still work and make money. So that's the benefit of what we do. And that benefit works in 2 ways. You can do it when you're old, but the benefit of it is you can do it when you're young and say, okay, I'm going to take one or two extra clients every day and save that money so that when I get old, I don't have to be that OG. I'm working because I want to, not because I have to. So the sooner you get that understanding of, because I'm young in this game and because of the way the game is, I can dictate how much money I can prepare for retirement by saying, I'm okay. My average bills means I got to do 6 clients a day. So you do those 6 clients, that pays your bills, the whole 10 yards. And we get into, how did you know you had to do 6? Well, you had to know your numbers. And that's the first thing we do when we talk about the class, is walk people through what their numbers are. If you don't know what you need, then you don't know what you're working for. So that's one of the first things we do in the class you help me structure, was help people know what their numbers are. So we know that their minimum numbers are 6 or 7 clients a day. Boom, we got that. Now, if we want to step the game up and say, okay, this is my minimum number, but I really want to make sure I can stop doing this at 50, then that same person that needs 6 may do 8 and take those 2 clients every day and put that money in the right savings vehicle. And now we can start talking about that person being able to walk away at age 50. And then we start talking about understanding what those savings vehicles are: banks, annuities, the standard 401k, the Roth IRA, insurance products. Those are the savings vehicles that someone can invest in, because the returns aren't necessarily high, but you can't lose money. That's the difference in saving as opposed to investing. Because when you talk about investing, you may be talking about mutual funds and stocks and crypto. Okay, yeah, you can use those products, but if they're tied to the market in any degree, the money you put in could be gone at some point in time.
Okay.
So you don't want to save in those vehicles. Those are investment vehicles. Saving is different.
Okay. Hold on for just a second. We're getting some amazing questions. Okay. Really good stuff. Before we get too far down the road, I want to make sure that my people here, guys, listen. Okay. You guys make sure that you go ahead and follow Steve. Steve has the information. He's got a free class right there. If you click the link in his bio, make sure you guys don't come on this live and then just be like, oh, shoot, I don't remember what the guy's name. I don't remember how to get back to this. Go on his live. Make sure you screenshot this, save this, whatever you need to do so you can come back and go to the link in his bio, okay? Make sure you follow him, okay? You can just click on this little twisty right here and his name will pop up, and that's how you get to his profile, okay? Because he has a free lesson right there in the link in his bio. Some of the, 3 biggest mistakes that beauty professionals make that leave them broke, something like that, right?
You got it.
And it's free. It's absolutely free, okay? He is free and paid. Both of them are going to give you value. If you're getting value right here from this live, go ahead and tap on the screen for me right now, because I'm seeing the questions that I'm seeing right now is telling me that people are getting value from this live, okay? Yeah. He has paid things. He has free things, okay? All of it is going to give you value, okay? Now, because you asked me that question, I'm going to get back to your questions, okay? I don't want to lose the questions, but I want to make sure that I am making sure that my people understand what we're talking about here, because I don't need you to miss out. What he's talking about is wealth, okay? He's not talking about making money. He's talking about building wealth. There is a difference. He's talking about the difference between saving and investing. And if you don't know these things, that is okay. He also coaches people, right? One-on-one, in groups, all of that. Like, he is actually, aren't you a financial advisor?
Yes, I'm a financial advisor. I am licensed to both on the insurance, primarily on the insurance side. I don't do securities and things like that, because that's a different arena, and I'm focused on saving.
Okay. So listen, I'm telling you guys this because instead of you guys going to the bank and finding somebody who doesn't understand your business, this is a licensed barber who is a licensed right? Financial advisor. So this person understands you, your business, what you need to do. Just, I mean, the game he just gave you guys, it was so simple. The game about taking taking a couple extra clients and putting that money in the right investment vehicles. That was like game, you guys. I'm gonna need you guys to tap on the screen. I'm gonna need to see some hearts coming, okay? Now let me go back to these questions. I want to make sure I didn't miss these questions. Like, I just need to make sure my people understand. Like, this is not my usual live, okay? This is not my usual live. Like, hold on, let me scroll back. There we go. I see those hearts. I see those hearts because I need you guys to understand, okay? So I Glam, you said, what do I do? Because we talked about, you were talking about retiring in your 50s. I
Yes.
Glam, you said, what do I do if I'm already in my 40s?
Then, like anything else, you got to later start. You just may have to work a little harder. I mean, it's, it's simple math, and I'm sure you know that, but it's not out of the realm. But again, it comes back to knowing your numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're in your 40s, but do you understand what your bills and expenses are? And if indeed you do that, then let's start to get rid of as much of our expenses as we can, i.e., that same client, one client may be an investment client, one client may be to pay off a credit card.
Mm,
And we
okay.
can do that because our business allows us that flexibility. You
Okay.
know, if you're working, 4 days a week, which I'm sure in the 40s you probably are, you're down to, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday through Saturday. You may have to roll back and start putting Tuesday in the mix and take that Tuesday money to focus on paying off your bills. And now that you've paid off your bills, let's put some money aside in an interest-bearing account so your money can start to grow. And the $4,000 a month that your expenses are now may be only $2,000 a month in the next 10 or 12 years. And now I've put away some money that'll get me $1,000 or $2,000 a month. For you, that may be fine. For someone else, they may need $4,000 or $5,000 a month. It's about knowing what your numbers are and working toward those numbers.
So, let me get to this question really quick. Coist by Dina said, what's the best savings vehicle to start with?
It depends on your individual situation. I mean, if we go through them progressively. First thing people always think about is the bank. Banks are fine, but banks pay you right now. The bank ain't even paying 1%. So, is the bank a better? Next thing we look at is annuities. But the problem with annuities sometimes is the flexibility. What's the rate of return, and do I have the flexibility to get my money in and out, and can I leverage my money? I.e., when I borrow it, is it still gaining a rate of return? Because when I take money out and I'm losing all the interest, does that make sense? So then we look at the probably the next thing we talk about 401ks and the Roth IRAs. For us it's a Roth IRA, but again, if you're talking about trying to maximize the amount of money you can save, once you put it in a Roth, you don't have the ability to get it out, and the government sets a maximum amount of money that you can even put in a Roth. So depending on what your goals are,
depending on your age, right?
Your goals in your age, you may want to save more money, and the Roth doesn't even allow you to save that money. I'm an insurance guy, so I use insurance as a vehicle to help save money. Now, people always say, "Oh, no, I don't want to do that," but insurance provides almost 3 levels of growth. It allows the money to grow at an interest rate that's decent, between 4 and 8%. It also allows you the flexibility that if you need to pull your money out, it's still growing, and it provides protection for you and your family should something happen to you in the interim. I had a friend of mine, we just been talking about the last 2 weeks. A friend of mine passed away, last week? And of course, guess what happens now?
What's that?
Passed away. Everybody is talking about, man, my boy, I miss him. He was a cool dude. Woo, woo, woo. They got a GoFundMe started because he didn't have no protection to take care of him and his wife and his kid.
And this is no shade, but we've seen this in the beauty industry. We've seen huge, you know what I'm saying, influencers, and this is no shade, people who've had stuff. And, you know, when things are going good, we don't plan, right? We don't plan for, you know, death. We don't plan for retirement. We don't, but nobody wants to have, you know, accidents happen. All kinds of things happen. We don't plan for those things. We want to have fun and have the good times, but we don't think, and you guys have seen the GoFundMe.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right? You guys have seen the GoFundMes, and if you don't want to have the GoFundMe, if you want to have something to leave your family, not leave them with the expense of burying you. But I don't like to talk about, and hey, Shonda, I don't like to talk about, you know, just about death, because, you know, that makes me sad that we're, you know, doing all of this work just so that we can retire. What about living great in retirement, right? Or we don't want to work so hard so our kids don't have to pay to bury us. Yes, we want to do that. But what about enjoying your life without standing behind the chair, without having to work? Right? That is the goal, like that you can walk away and you do not change your lifestyle.
Very true.
That's what we're talking about. Like, a lot of people are like, okay, I'm going to retire, but maybe I'm going to have to go on, you know, get some public assistance, get some food. And there's no shade in that, but retiring and living your life on your own terms.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you know, everybody's going to go on Medicare. That's public assistance. So don't view it as something bad at the end of the day. You know, reaching that age 65 means, hey, you got the benefit now of not having to pay for healthcare insurance. So that's one of the things you can take off the list of expenses you had when you were through your 30s, 40s, and 50s, and you still got care at the end of the day. But, you know, when you talk about insurance, people always say, well, you know, that old buy term, invest the difference, the whole 10 yards. Investments, again, are different than savings. You can lose your money through investments. You can't lose your money through savings. And at the end of the day, you hear, you know, you watch the Dave Ramsey's of the world and all these folks who talk about why do you need insurance when you get old? Well, at the end of the day, when let's say you don't have any insurance, you've got enough money to pass away, and there's enough money in your savings account to pay for your funeral and all the expenses. Okay, that's fine. Did you want to maybe do something for your wife, for your kids, to make sure that they were really taken care of, not just with the money that was in your savings account? When you love to, when you pass away, make sure that somebody's bringing a check to your house, to your wife and your kids for $50, $100, $500,000 to make sure that they are, you know, don't have to struggle and grieve. You know, it's about creating a legacy for your family at the end of the day. You know, how different would your life be if the grandfather or parent that you had that passed away stacked a couple of $100,000 in your name so that you could do what you wanted to do? That would probably put you in that salon a lot quicker and jump-started your career. It's not just about you and what you want. It's about what you want to leave for your family and the legacy you want to provide for them. And again, insurance allows you to use it for retirement because you can pull the money out of there. And they actually, you know, the good thing about it is if you buy enough of it, you buy $1 million, you can start to sell the insurance back to the insurance company and take that money as income. Where else can you do that and leverage those dollars? That's when we talk about a dollar doing 2 or 3 things for you that he can't do in other places.
Thank you so much for the badge. I appreciate that. Okay, so before we get too far, I know we've had a lot of new people join. I want to make sure you guys know we were talking about how 90% of beauty professionals retire broke. I've got Mr. Steve Ellis. He is a licensed barber. He is a barber instructor professor at Compton Community College, and he's also a licensed financial planner. So he knows what he's talking about. He understands unique challenges of being a beauty professional. We're not going to be on here super long, but I want to make sure you guys click this link up here. He has a free lesson. Okay, if you're listening to this and you're kind of like, okay, I know I need to listen to what he's saying because I don't want to be one of those beauty professionals that retires broke. I have seen that happen to somebody else, and I don't want it to be me. And you're also one of those people that's like, I don't know what he's talking about, and that's okay.
Very.
Steve does offer one-on-one help. So when he's saying you have to know your numbers, like sometimes I'm gonna be honest with you guys, sometimes I've been that kind of person that when somebody says certain things to me and I'm like, oh gosh, I get intimidated by it. We can't be intimidated by this.
Right.
Okay. We got to ask the questions. I'm telling you right now, this is the person that can help you. Like I'm putting it in front of you. And the thing is, no question is stupid. No question is the wrong question. You need to ask until you understand. Okay. You can talk to him one-on-one if you're kind of like, it's okay if you come to him and you're like, I don't know my numbers. He has all of these tools. He has all of these, spreadsheets. And don't let that intimidate you, because he does do one-on-ones where he will help you understand what your numbers are. He can literally sit, some of the services, he does have classes, but he also, some of the services that he offers is that he will sit with you, right? And he will tell you what you need to do, because what Anderson, Jimmy needs to do is different than what You needs to do, is different than what David needs to do, is different than what Cheers to You needs to do. Okay. And he does offer that. If you're intimidated, you're in the right spot. Yes. Because he can tell you what you need to do for you. Okay. Now, I've done something bad here, Steve. I'm actually in the red. I know we've been on here longer than I planned. Oh. My battery is like, hey, girl.
Oh, okay. Okay. No problem.
Hey, girl. But I want to make sure that, everybody goes ahead, follows you. We understand that, that he does have a free class. The link, you can start watching it tonight.
Yes.
If it's something that keeps you up at night, that you're talking to God about, you're talking to yourself about, you can click the link there, sign up, get immediate access, where he's going to just talk about the top 3 things that people are doing that are keeping them broke. But if you want to get with him at the end of that lesson, there is actually a place where you can book one-on-one time with him. Okay. And find out what it takes, to work with him, what you need to do. And you can talk about your individual thing. Now, thank you, Steve, for putting that in there. He actually also has let me go to pin that comment. He actually has a book, and he has a physical book on Amazon. He has an audio book. He has a course called The Mindset of Acquiring Wealth. And talk about that real quick. And I know it's only real quick because my battery's in the red.
No problem. I mean, like I said, because I've been teaching for almost 18 years, mm-hmm. I've been teaching my students this. So during COVID, I put all of this, with all that downtime, I put everything, or at least some of those thoughts, in a book, mm-hmm. so that I could start to really, and that's where I kind of started to want to structure this and really start to teach this to a wider audience. And that's when my boy DL hooked me up with Season, and we've been working to put this all together, because again, I understand that a lot of us got into this game early. We don't necessarily know anyone that guided us down this financial path, and we need somebody to do that. And to Season's mm-hmm. point, I understand if you be like, man, I don't have a clue of what you're talking mm-hmm. about. I'm a teacher. I take students who didn't have a clue about haircut and hair coloring and advance them in that knowledge. And my goal is to do the exact same thing with people in the financial industry, to advance them in this knowledge that they need to be, because you are all entrepreneurs. From the day you graduated, you were both a worker and an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And you need to know how to ride in both lanes. Your skill sets drive you as a worker, but your knowledge is going to drive you as an entrepreneur. And that's where we want to get that knowledge up to make you a better entrepreneur, because you're always going to be working on your skill sets.
Mm-hmm. Now, listen, I need you all to tap the screen because I'm about to go hard on y'all. I'm going to give you guys some tough love, okay? So for those of you guys who are new to me, listen, I'm always going to tell you the truth. I'm going to be very honest with you. Sometimes it might seem a little harsh, but it's always, always, always with love, okay? You don't have an option of learning about this. You need to know about this, okay? Just because you don't know about gravity doesn't mean that you're not subject to the laws of gravity, okay? If you walk off a cliff, you're gonna fall down and you're gonna die, depending on how high it is. Okay, whether you know about gravity, the laws of gravity, whatever, it does not matter. All of this is still going to apply to you. Okay, the same thing goes for investing and planning for retirement. Whether or not you know about it, it doesn't. It's going to affect you. Okay, you can. And what I don't want is, if you're listening to my voice right now, if you're one of my people, if you've been following me from all the way back in the Periscope days, I need you guys to understand how important this is. Okay. I need you to understand how important this is. Okay. And I need you guys to understand that you can either take action, or else you can let life happen to you. Either way, you're going to retire whether you want to or not. Right. Whether it's your choice or not, you're going to retire. You're going to stop being behind the chair, the brush, or whatever it is. You're going to eventually, you're going to stop. Okay. But what Steve is teaching you here is how to do it on your terms, is how to decide how much money that you want to make. Are you going to be, when I was younger, the generic aisle, everything was black and white down that aisle. When you walked down the aisle, all the packages were black. Do you guys remember that? I'm probably showing my age here, okay? Everything was black and white, all the generic stuff, okay? It depends. Are you going to get the Kraft macaroni and cheese? You're going to get the one with the black and white package. There's neither. It's up to you. It's up to you. Some people say there's no difference. Some people say, hey, I can tell the difference. Okay. And it's no shade, but this is where you get to decide, what does your retirement look like? Am I getting the generic Kraft mac and cheese? Right? Or am I still, my lifestyle isn't changing. I'm retired. I'm still going on vacations. I'm planning how many vacations I want to go on. I'm planning the things that I want to do with my grandchildren. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But you're going to retire one way or another, and you get to make a choice about how that happens. Okay. You can retire, like you mentioned, you can have a GoFundMe. Okay. You can leave it in somebody else's hands, or you can leave it in your own hands. And just like I said, I want to make sure you guys understand, Steve is here to help you. Okay. Whether or not you decide to pay for any of the products that he has, he does have a free product.
Yes.
He does have a free product. And I believe when you watch the end of that course, I believe you offer a free consultation with them.
That is correct.
Okay. But
First
you have to watch the free class.
Yeah.
Yes.
First consultation is free. It ain't about getting you to spend money. The first thing we want to do is have a conversation about where you are, what you want to do, and go from there. And then we dive in and start to put together a plan. And part of that plan is even from Season's perspective, she's helped me structure, because for a lot of you folks, you're still trying to figure out how to structure your business. So Season, we brought some of Season's expertise in to help structure your business. And now once you've got the structure right, now we start talking about all the things you do inside of that structure: booth rent, commission, do I rent a suite? What's the difference? Understanding all of those differences and how to put your business together. And then once you got your business together, now we start talking about where and how to save money, and what's the differences in those plans and how to save money. So it's a progressive thing.
All right. Steve, what else do you want to make sure that you leave everybody with? This has been really good. I feel like a lot of people are like, wow, I know this is the information I need. This is sometimes the information that you need. You might not want it. This is the vegetables, okay? I need you guys to eat your vegetables so that you guys can be healthy in your retirement. Okay?
Yeah.
I talked to my daughter who plays volleyball right now. And my daughter, she's looking forward to being an amazing volleyball player. She's working so hard. And I look at some of the snacks and I'm like, are you feeding your body so that you can be the volleyball player that you want to be? And this is the same thing goes for retirement, right? Are you feeding, right, your investment vehicles, right, so that you can have the type of retirement that you want to have? And if you don't even know what an investment vehicle is, that's fine. He's going to help you.
Yeah. And to your point, my thing isn't about selling people anything.
Right.
I want you to understand the differences in the product, and then from there, make a decision that best serves you. I mean, we ain't going through these whole answering objections and this, that, and the other. An objection is a question that you need explained. And once I explain it to you, then hopefully you will make a better informed decision. But at the end of the day, it's about you making that decision or understanding your options and choosing whether to move or not to move. And that's incumbent upon you. Because if I sell you something, as soon as times get hard, you'll be like, man, what's that? I know about that thing from that dude, but no, I ain't keeping that.
Yep.
That's because you don't understand what it is.
Yep.
If you understand what it is and why you bought it, then that choice will be, as opposed to getting rid of what I got you, that choice will be between going or taking a vacation or maybe buying a purse or something. You're going to be like, I'm not going to buy that purse. I'm not going to take that vacation because what I bought was for the betterment of me and my family. And that's more important than 4 days off at the end of the day.
Yep. And I saw this viral article where it was a Black family that bought, like, it was something like 72 acres or something in some state. And I've seen several of these articles, to be honest. So I'm not specific on one. But the thing is that we need to start thinking about, what is it, right? What are you going to leave? And I've been talking a lot about individual vacations. You've been talking a lot about, what about your family? Like, how are the betterment of your family in the future? Like, and you're talking about what the stuff you're talking about, Steve, it's for multiple generations.
Yes.
You're talking about setting up people's family for multiple generations down the road. Not, I was talking about, hey, what macaroni you're gonna eat. He's talking that real stuff about setting up your family for multiple generations down the road, and how you can change the trajectory of your family's life. And we're not just talking about your kids. You mentioned grandkids, right?
That's right.
And once it starts there, it keeps going, right? On and on and on and on and on.
Very true.
That's why,
very true.
A lot of people you see that are already, what I'm saying, it seems like, gosh, their family, and you look at somebody else and you're like, gosh, they had this opportunity handed to them. Their parents were able to invest in them, and listen, no shade at all to Gary V. Like, love Gary V. But one of the things that he talks about, he's like, yes, I turned my parents' $10 million business into $40 million, or whatever the numbers are, right? Wouldn't you love to be able to have a $10 million business that your kids can work without a college degree?
Right.
Because he was like, oh, I don't want to do college. I'm not interested in that. Right? Wouldn't you love for your kids to not feel like, I have to work here. I don't like it. I'm not passionate about this. I have to work at this thing. What if you had a multi-million-dollar business that you can pass on to your kids? And that is not the story for a lot of people. That is not an option for a lot of people. Okay. And this is no shade. I mean, that's his story. I love it. You know what I'm saying? But imagine not even doing well in school. Okay. He talks about that. I read the book. He said he's not interested. He's not doing well in school. And they let him run a $10 million business.
Yes. And that's why you got to understand the concept. That's why you got to understand the concepts, because once you understand the concepts, you can at least pass the knowledge to your kids. And now they have the knowledge that you have at a very young age, and they can start saving and doing those things for themselves in addition to what you've given them at the end of the day. They won't be that family that blows the lottery money in 2 years.
Right. And then we're talking about, people teaching their kids to be twice as good. You have somebody here who has not applied themselves in school and everything and been given an amazing opportunity. Who would hire him and he hasn't done well in school and didn't have the experience? Now, he did an amazing job, and there's a lot of people that could do the amazing job, but he was given that opportunity because his parents had the money and that was their child. Okay? How many of us want to give our kids opportunities, right, that they have, maybe they're not prepared for, but we know they can do it. We want to excel them into positions, right? Other people do this all the time. This is what Steve's talking about. Okay, you can get your own nepotism going on.
There you go.
Okay.
Very true.
All right. Awesome. I'm gonna get out of here, Steve. Listen, We might have to, you guys let me know in the comments. I mean, I feel like people have so many questions. I feel like Steve, you might have to come back up here, talk about
no problem with me doing that.
Yes. Talk about some more stuff. I feel
Okay.
like this is so important. I need to make sure that, this is kind of the uncomfortable stuff. This is the stuff, it's not the sexy stuff. We're not talking about gaining followers. We're not talking about the fun stuff. Okay? This is the stuff that matters. Okay?
Very true.
It's not this is the uncomfortable, icky, but it's going to get us to where we want to get.
Yeah, I got you. I compare this, and I'll leave this one on the air.
Oh, absolutely.
I compare this one to, like I like to call when I'm talking to my students, there's that hairstylist that's really great at styling, and then there's that hairstylist that I call the witch doctor. The witch doctor isn't necessarily great at styling, but when you go to her, your hair just feels different, feels silky, feels healthy, because she understands the products and the things that it takes to make your hair feel good as opposed to just look good. What we're talking about now is that same concept of the things that are going to make you, people may not see it, but you're going to feel better because you know you're doing the right things and it ain't flossing in front of everybody. That's the difference, because some people can make your hair look real good, but it still feels all dry and damaged. We want to get you to the point where you get your family and your monetary situation feeling good, and it ain't got to look good to everybody, but it's going to feel good to you.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Steve. As always, you guys let me know in the comments if we want to have Steve back. Make sure you go ahead and sign up for his free class. Make sure you check your requests, Steve, because you might have some requests. If you guys are interested in learning how to turn your knowledge into digital products, go ahead and drop into my DM. If you've commented on this live, I set up some automations so that you will get some access to some special stuff. But make sure, if you don't do anything else, I'm gonna need you to follow this guy right here. All right. Thank you, Steve.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Spreadsheets, and don't let that intimidate you, because he does do one-on-ones where he will help you understand what your numbers are. He can literally sit, some of the services, he does have classes, but he also, some of the services that he offers is that he will sit with you, right? And he will tell you what you need to do, because what Anderson, Jimmy needs to do is different than what iGlam needs to do, is different than what David needs to do, is different than what Cheers to You needs to do. Okay. And he does offer that. If you're intimidated, you're in the right spot, because he can tell you what you need to do for you. Okay. Now, I've done something bad here, Steve. I'm actually in the red. I know we've been on here longer than I planned. My battery is like, hey, girl.